I love seeing y'all set up tables. Makes my teacher heart happy. You set up this perfectly. Did you, oh, this one? This one? So what does it ask me to find? So what is it plugging in? So wherever X is, you need to plug it in. Just plug it in using X's. Just like you did here when you did here. You still have about 2 minutes left on this quiz. If you don't finish it, you're just going to put it in your grade paper folder standing up and come see me in tutorials sometime this week, okay? Don't rush on it, just to be done. Okay, if you can't find a number, you have to spell it by hand. So you're going to plug in -9 where the Y would go. So your first equation, and then -9 and 2x plus 3. No, you have to do it by hand. Well, -9 would go there for x's. Negative. So what's your first step? What's it, plus 3? Perfect. Okay, does that make sense? Can you go stick it straight up in your grade paper folder? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to put the iPads to the side. And we're going to try to pick up where we left off so that we can get all of our homework done in class today. Sound good? Yes? No? Maybe? If y'all will open up to page 13. A lot of you kept your 2.3 practice in your journal with your notes. If you didn't, go ahead and get it out. Wherever you put it, go ahead and get it out. Because we already had done about half of it. Huh?
Oh yeah, we already put all the
Domains and ranges of our discrete and continuous. We've already done a lot of it. Okay? Now, I will tell you, I'm going to record some stuff for my website. So I'm going to do a quick review. We're going to go like lightning speed fast. But the faster you'll answer my questions, the faster we'll get through that review. And then we'll get straight on to domain and range of continuous situations. And we'll be done with our notes. Okay? Now, do me a favor, though. Look at the colors you did for domain and range in your notes. And then check the boxes that you're sitting at. Make sure you have those two colors. If you don't have those two colors, let me know. So, what color do you need?
I need blue.
So here's pink. Does anybody have an extra purple? Pass it this way. What colors do you need? Do you need another pink? Is there another pink anywhere that nobody's using? Here we go.
I need a blue.
Okay, what color do you need? We got them taken care of? colors.
Oh, we're not doing that.
So 2 pinks and 1 orange. Does anybody have an extra pink?
Yes. Yeah.
Extra pink?
Let me go.
Heads up. Extra pink?
Hey, you need a
No
blue?
more extra pinks?
You need a purple.
Okay. So how many do y'all have now?
What color you need?
Pink and orange, pink and orange. What do y'all need?
Good. Alright.
2 pinks and a blue. Oh, goodness. Does anybody have an extra blue?
Yep. Right here.
Any more extra pinks?
Yes. Oh, wait, no.
Another one? Yes, no?
Raise your hand.
Extra pinks?
She needs a purple.
Okay, hold on. I'm asking for an extra pink. Does anybody have an extra pink?
Kaya, we're green. Hey, we need a green over here.
I have some. Hold on. Okay, now do y'all have 4 total at y'all's table? Yes? Do y'all have all your colors taken care of?
We need this one's right there.
Oh, y'all have an extra? Here.
You need a what?
Go throw it away and grab a different pink one. But you said you need a blue? Okay, and then you have your 2 colors? Perfect. Are y'all missing anything? Are y'all missing anything?
We're missing a green. We need a green.
Oh, which one? Maybe I can't hear you. Okay, where did yours go? But you have your notes, so you should have the paper. But we did the paper at the same time we did the notes. So you're saying, are you saying you're missing it, or are you saying you don't have one? Okay. Did y'all get yours taken care of? Colors? Yes? Or these extras, those are yours? Got colors taken care of? What do you? Yellow and orange. Here's an orange. Is that an extra? Perfect. You need a green? What color do you need?
I'm good.
You got them? What colors do you need? Perfect. Okay. So everybody has their 2 colors, right? Yes? Perfect. This is going to be better. Here we go. Again, remember this first part is just like a quick review based on getting this done for my website, okay? So that when your parents look at it, they can be like, oh my gosh, you learned something. Okay? So, first thing we learned on 2.3 notes was discrete versus continuous. Somebody talk to me about what discrete data looks like. There's dots, there's gaps in the data. Kind of like when we have gaps in our teeth, what do we put on them? Braces. So when we write our domain and range of discrete, we put them in braces or brackets. What else do you know about discrete data? Mapping diagrams, tables, anything that's not on a graph pretty much is a discrete situation. Okay? And then anything that's on a graph but only has ordered pairs on it, so dots everywhere. What's another name for dots on a graph? Do y'all remember what that's called? Scatter plots, okay? So if you ever see a scatter plot, that's discrete data as well. Now talk to me about continuous data. It doesn't mean that it goes on forever. What does it mean? That the data is connected. It measures something, okay? So let's talk about measurable data. What are some examples of things you can measure? And you can measure time. So let's add this to our notes. Measuring. So these examples, time, because that could be days, seconds, years, months, minutes, hours, okay? What else can you measure? Height. I like it. Height. Distance. What else can you measure? Anything else? Length, which would be kind of like distance. Bless you. I do have a question. When you were born, how much did you weigh? 8 pounds, 6 ounces, right? Something along those lines, like 5 pounds, whatever, 5 to 10 pounds. Do any of y'all weigh that same amount now? Yes. I do. Our shoes do, right? Okay? So here's what I want y'all to understand. Anything that measures something, so from one point to the next, you have to go through all those pounds to get to where you're at now. Okay? Or you have to go through all those millimeters or centimeters or inches to get to as tall as you are now. Because I promise none of you came out at this height. Right? Okay? So, that's stuff you have to think about. Things that are measurable. Things that you can, you go through a process to get there. Make sense? Okay, so let's go ahead and add in the word weight, even though that's something a lot of us don't like to talk about. Okay? Do y'all see the difference between these two types of situations? So number one was what? Discrete. Why? Because it's on a table. 2 was? Because it's? Good. Connected on a graph. 3? Because it's a? Great job. What about 4? Continuous. Because it was connected from one point to the next. Okay. What about 5? Because? Connected. Then 6? Continuous because it's? 7? Continuous because it's? 8? Because it's? 9? Continuous because it's? Connected. 10? Continuous because it's? 11. Why? It's measuring feet. It's also measuring what? Time, seconds. So both of those data in there are measurable. Therefore, this is a continuous graph. Okay, and then 12 was? Because it was not connected. What is that called? When you have a graph that has dots on it? It's a scatter plot. Even though it's kind of pretty, it's still a scatter plot because there's just points scattered. Okay? So remember, we went ahead and we did all of our discrete stuff. We always list our domains from what to what? Least to greatest. Okay? Do we ever repeat a number? No, because that wastes ink. Okay? So we took care of all of our discrete data. And then remember, an open circle means it's not equal to that situation. A closed circle means it is equal. And then whenever there's an arrow on the end of our graph, it just means we're lazy and it keeps going. Okay? Now, there is something I want y'all to add down here. Ready? Oh, man. Of course, my pen decided to stop work. Okay, there's one thing we've got to add, and it's going to kind of blow your minds, but you're going to be great at this. Ready? I want you to go write a capital R with another line through it. And all this means is all real numbers. That's just something you're going to have to know here in a little bit, okay? So it's what I call a fancy R. You give it a little extra line through it, okay? And all it means is it covers all real numbers. Instead of having to write out all real numbers, you just put the fancy R there. Sound good? Okay, so that takes care